Okay, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm sure many of you are joining with a coffee or another drink. Thank you very much. Here on my side of the world is around 8 p.m. and it is always very exciting to have you all with us today talking about shaping a peaceful world led by youth. A couple of things that you need to know before we start is that I can see messages on the chat if you want to interact with me, but you might not see messages from other people. So if you want to share something with me, with the other facilitators who are collaborating, that will be possible. Also, I know everybody is looking after the code because you want to have some achievements during JOTA-JOTA on the digital badges and all the process. We will have it by the end. So I'm very excited to share with you the content of today, and I want to hear from you also. What insights do you have about shaping a peaceful world led by youth or led by you? So if you are ready to start, can you text a message and tell me what is your name or where are you joining from today, like either your city or your country? That will be great to see. Olivia, thank you very much from UK. That's very nice. My name is Cynthia Marquez Pugel. I'm in Kuala Lumpur in the World Scout Bureau. I'm in charge of innovation and education, but I've been long time a fan and supporter of Messengers of Peace, peace education, and now I'm also learning about innovation. Morocco is present, the Philippines, this is so exciting, Indonesia, Sweden, wow, USA, that's very early from you, Chicago, thank you very much. I will try to keep up with all your messages, so please, the interaction with you is basically through the chat, so please don't let me feel alone. Keep sharing with me your messages and your thoughts on this. So, first of all, welcome. This is Shaped by Youth. And I'm sure you are shaping it already. But the first things to shape anything in the way we want is imagining it. So I want to ask you to share on the chat, in one word, how is the world that you imagine? If we talk in the context of peace, peaceful. And we know there's a lot going on in many places, in many cities, but you know, we have the possibility to transform and shape it. But the first thing is we need to imagine it. So a beautiful world, an equal world, a paradise, great, healthy. That's the world that you want to shape. Peaceful, friendship. Yes. Equal, diverse, friendly, really peaceful, equally for humans, each other, inventive, democratic. We see a lot going on in different countries. People agreeing with you, understanding. We underestimate the power of understanding and being open to others, open to difference, open to diversity, open to different cultures. Pets for everyone, yes, also. Nature is important, animals. How else do you imagine this world? Do you think that you can actually shape it? If you today think that you cannot, I want you to shape your way of thinking, because also we need you to believe that you can shape it and that you can achieve this world and this vision that you have for the world. And I want to invite you today in this session and after the session that you do not just disregard this image that you have of the world, because we create it and shape it and materialize it every single day with every single action. 30 years old, also, Bintang, I hope I'm saying your name in the proper way. You can also shape it. 13 years of age, 14. There's no reason why very young people cannot do difference. And actually, we see it every day. So have that word in mind. Understanding, peaceful, unity. Are you planning, are you imagining your own contribution to peace? Or this is a word that you hear that is abstract or too big, or you think like, this is not something for me. Now I want to ask you, I'm sure you have had moments when you make a difference for someone else, either because you help them or because you thought about it, either because you organize a project, you do your good turn. Sometimes even it's just a word, a phrase, a hug. Think about a moment when you made a difference for someone. Can you share when was the last time and what did you do to make a difference for someone? We are talking about encouraging you to take action. This is it. Sometimes we are promoters, we are mentors, we are encouraging. Hopefully, I'm encouraging you also as well. We have people that even in war settings, they are friends. You are helping your juniors in JOTA-JOTI. We are volunteering to make kids happy many times. You encourage someone to take a next step, Olivia. Thank you very much for that. And we need to always see the advantage and the value of having others in our countries, in our cities. How can we make life easier for someone that is coming in? Help people joining the different events. When I made my biodiversity speech, yes, that is very true. We make differences in many instances, and that's how every day we can actually contribute to something and build up on our own impact for peace. And I'm sure many of you here are joining because you are adult leaders, others are joining because you are young rovers, scouts, and we can plan for a big impact or a relevant impact for many people, for our community, if we do small things every day. We need to keep our dream in mind and imagining, and then breaking it down in smaller pieces so I can build it up every day. Clara is sharing with us that she was helping an unconscious old man to bring him to the hospital. And sometimes we are facing really challenging situations and we are making a difference. And that's why scouting brings us all together. And that's why the values of scouting are help us sometimes to feel brave, that we can do things that are not common, unimaginable. And we need to keep going on that. Now, I want to share something that sounds like very big and abstract, the WASM strategy or the World Scouting strategy, but I want to share it with you because I want you to invite you to be part of it. This strategy says that as World Scouting, we want to create a peaceful world and an inclusive world. We want to create a world shaped by youth. And here I'm calling to all the youth that is in this session, all the adults that are also here in this session. We want to support you to shape this world that you are imagining with all the words that you mentioned: unity, peaceful, integrated, healthy, equity. And we also want to create a sustainable world. Now, the fact that these three impacts that we are creating now, that we have adopted as a world movement, brings me now to invite you as a young person and participant to have these three phrases in mind and bring them to your everyday journey as an active citizen and as a scout and as a member of your community. Which one of these three do you feel more connected? Which one of these three inspires you more to take action on to make it yours? What impact would you like to create in your city, in your neighborhood, in your community? Would you like to contribute to a peaceful and inclusive world? Would you like maybe to be a youth leader that is shaping many aspects of your community? Or do you want to focus on creating a sustainable world? Many are saying a peaceful and inclusive world, a world shaped by youth. Yes, okay. Welcome to the ones who are joining. We are asking now from this that you see on your screen, what of these three statements, which are impact statements, do you connect more tonight? If you are looking at a peaceful and inclusive world, I want you to start thinking, how would you like to celebrate by the end of this year, which is something that we can look at, that you contributed to peace and a community that is open to different people? If you are getting connected of, I want to be a shaper as a young person, I want to be a shaper of my community. How do you imagine that you can create and say, I achieved this by the end of this year? It doesn't have to be a big action. It can be a small project. What action can you take to start shaping your close environment? And if you are looking at sustainable, what action can you take? Give me some examples of this. What can you do tomorrow to start building more inclusion, more understanding, something where there's no discrimination? What can you do tomorrow? Listening to everyone. We can start learning how to listen, probably active listening, probably being more curious about things or what's happening in my community. I can also teach someone a new skill. You have many talents and many things that you learn already, that you know that others don't know, and that you can also start sharing with others. Listen to other people's views. Yes. Sometimes that's a first exercise of start building peace. Being open to be surprised. Being open to listen to what the other is saying, and maybe something that we do not agree or that we have never heard, and we are open to listening to others. Practice with emotional intelligence and academic intelligence. So this is about knowledge and emotions. Practice it, explore it. Stop racism. Yes. What can you do to stop it? Have you checked if you have some thoughts that maybe are discriminative to others? Give someone advice from your experiences. Yes. Be kind. Help each other create a space. Sometimes people want to do something new and good, but they are not necessarily knowing exactly how, and we can help them shape or think in a way how they can make a difference. Now, by sharing this with you, this is a first invitation on we need each and everyone to help us achieve these three impact statements that we have said the movement can achieve. And the world around us, communities, school, academia, partners, allies, your families, they all believe that scouting can do that. They all believe that you can do it. So today I'm asking you, I'm telling you that we believe even the youngest person can help us create a peaceful and inclusive world that can help us shape the different communities and the things that we don't like, and to create a sustainable world. But I want to invite you today to take this for you, for yourself. Now, we are around 200 people in this call. If 200 of us start taking one of these one day at a time, imagine what scouts in general can do if 60 million of us do this in our own communities. So if you are an adult leader and you are here, my invitation to you is that share these impact statements with your young scouts. Help them start planning for impact. Help them explore and take ownership of these 3 impacts that as a movement we want to create in our communities. Because one day at a time, we can start materializing the dreams that young people have around community and society, and help them to dream. And if you are having a dream of how you envision your community to be, keep it going, keep it materializing. Say it out loud, ask for help, share the idea, because in sharing it, you can also find other person that can also join you in this effort. Now, this is about impact. And one strong element is first to imagine it, then to believe in yourself, and then plan. What can you do to reach that point that you want to get there? Peace in general and around the world cannot be achieved if young people do not participate in it. And many organizations are making efforts to help you all in taking part, creating spaces for you to participate. We probably, in the world, we haven't found enough spaces for young participation, but as an organization and as a movement, we are committed to create those spaces and to help you develop all these skills and capacities that help you be in a better position when you have the opportunity to participate in peace building. And sometimes we also need to understand what do we mean by peace building, which is also part of imagining our impact. Peace building has many pillars, and I'm sharing with you one of many frameworks related to peace building that we as scouts are connected. It resonates what we do, both in the world and also in your countries. And your countries, or in your cities, or in your schools, you can find connections where to collaborate with others. One of the first pillars that is coming from the UN Youth, Peace and Security Framework or resolution that many countries around the world are supporting is participate. One of the main elements, if you want to shape these conditions in your community, conditions on conflict situations, improve the quality of life in your communities or in your neighborhood, is to participate, to be curious, to go out, to go around and connect with others. The other element is, how do we ensure that young people are protected? This is more a call of either the adult leaders or the ones who are on a certain age to take care and protect the younger ones, the younger one than you. How can you protect them to have a space where they can voice out their opinion, they can voice out their needs, they can participate without being excluded, they can participate without being discriminated? The other element is prevention. And while this icon here is about weapons or so, prevention is preventing also about words that will harm other people, statements that will have other people. gestures that will help other people. And this is something that we can do. And I'm sure through scouting, you learn how to be mindful of the way we communicate, how to be mindful of the way we don't define or label people, because it's part of preventing that, preventing how a situation that can start escalating from a discussion or a problem that you have, maybe with someone that you know, maybe with a disagreement that you are involved or that you see a disagreement with others. You can contribute as bringing a third option and perspective and prevent that a situation escalates from where it is. Be mindful, and this is a point of attention. Do not try to prevent something that you are not really prepared, or you do not have the knowledge, or you are not entirely sure how to address it. If we are talking about conflict situation, if we are talking about something that is becoming a problem between two people or groups of people in communities, do not get involved if you are not prepared for it, because instead of preventing it, you might be making it worse. But if you observe, if you are mindful, if you pay attention to needs and you apply the values of scouting that we have, you can also involve others in asking for help, bringing help. Partnerships are very important because sometimes we are able to see and identify a problem or an issue, and not necessarily we are the ones that will bring the solution or that have the knowledge. And that's where we can bring others to help us create a solution or bring the resources to address the community issue, or think together on the best way to address a problem. Now, I want to ask you how, if you have find yourself in a situation where contribution for peace is needed, where you could build peace, or any of these pillars that we are saying you feel that you can contribute. Reintegration, it's the last pillar that is about helping people who have been excluded or displaced from their own place, from their own city, or excluded for participating in decision making. How can they be part again of society, of the normal flow of activities? So which one of these do you feel like you can contribute more? About helping others in participate, about helping to create safe spaces and protection, or helping to mitigate conflict on other situations with prevention, or bringing resources together and having partnerships, or helping others to feel safe and be reintegrated into communities? What will be the one that you feel you have more skills to contribute to? Partnerships, we are listening. This is about resource mobilization. This is about connecting with others, bring ideas together. And we will talk about more of how you can bring ideas together on that. Let's see what others say. What is needed in your country? Hello, hello. Welcome from Indonesia. Do you feel you can contribute more on reintegration or prevention or protection? Participation. Thank you, Olivia, for sharing that. Participation, sometimes it's about creating spaces in your scout group, creating spaces with your patrols, asking for support from your adult leader, how you can participate in consultations, or creating a consultation even yourself with other young people in the place where you study or in your neighborhood. Participation and partnerships When I find an exclusive person, I'll put them to the activity also. You can also help others to identify that sometimes they are labeling or they are being a bit biased about other people. Help other people to feel comfortable or safe around us, yes. Sometimes is helping others understand the needs of people in need, people with special needs, or people who are um, migrating and being displaced, or in my school when sometimes other group of people are discriminating or bullying. That's also a way of preventing, helping them feel comfortable, supporting the person. Start a sports team. Sports are a very good way of um, building up bonding, strengthening communities. That's something that you can do. You can bring scouting to other audiences in your community, underprivileged communities. You can bring scouting to other friends, maybe in your university, maybe in bring the practices that we have in scouting, like dialogue principles, like circles of dialogue, or like activities on heritage to understand other cultures as well. So these are 5 pillars in terms of how we can build safer spaces, how we can collaborate with each other, and how also your institutions or you can mobilize people and other actors in your community. Now, through World Scouting, we are aiming to create peace and community engagement and active citizens, and many of you to find the right place on how you can make this impact bigger. And you probably have heard about messengers of peace. If you have heard messengers of peace, please write messengers of peace on the chat. Through messengers of peace, we are proposing that you engage in community action, and you can choose from 5 different ways to identify needs in community and create community projects. You can pick on peace building. We have resources like the Dialogue for Peace Challenge or the Interreligious Dialogue Challenge. We also can choose to work and support on diversity and inclusion. And many of you mentioned how you can work with your communities to help them feel safer, because maybe you can start talking about, and this is part of our work, prevention on gender-based violence, or maybe you want to promote inclusion of people with disabilities, or inclusion of elderly people, or people who are from a minority or different ethnicities. And you can help people understand the concept of diversity, understand the concept of inclusion, and start building these spaces where we can understand each other. You can also choose from so many opportunities, unfortunately, on humanitarian action. This sometimes is created by natural disasters, or is created by event, accidents that happen, or also not so good news. Sometimes in many countries they are happening other situations that are preventing people from living in their countries, or there is political unrest inside your country, and there are people that are displaced. We can help the ones affected in many of the resources that we have for humanitarian action, setting up food drives, clothes drives, or other resources maybe for babies and children. You can organize activities that help people in their mental health in humanitarian settings. That's another way to create peace. Building peace is also about helping people understand cultures and heritage. And in many of our cities, there is more than one culture coexisting. There is many practices and traditions, and you can help them discover them. You can help them appreciate them, all together, understand how the similarities or the differences are working on that. And all in all, this is about civic engagement. So in culture and heritage, we have a challenge called Patrimonito. We have, as you have heard, maybe Dialogue for Peace, interreligious dialogue. We have humanitarian action badges in many of your countries. And all of this contributes to the Messengers of Peace initiative. Now, can you share me if there's any topic that you would like to start thinking about a community service project? That maybe you already saw a need in your country, in your community, and you would like to start thinking on a way to solve it or find a better way to make a change and make a difference. We are doing a neighborhood food drive, picking up food bags all day today. Excellent. Thank you, Conley family, for sharing what you are doing today. Led action and climate change. Yes, peace is related to nature and climate change. Sometimes there are conflicts and fights because of natural resources. So many of the things are interconnected. Diversity and inclusion is saying Elise. Humanitarian action is saying Clara. Help seniors with shopping. Also, you can contribute to intergenerational understanding, and that helps on peace building and how we can support each other to understand how we become different throughout the years and throughout generations. Clean the house and surroundings, yes, and you can also help sometimes the neighbor is in need of help. Went to nursing home to help elderly, yes, thank you very much, Milo. That's another way. Promote youth-led action. Excellent. So you see, you have a lot of ideas. And sometimes we have this idea or we have this concept like, I want to support culture and heritage. I want to support civic engagement. And you really don't know why. So I want to share with you a couple of steps that can help you figure out how. And again, we can start small, and no action or contribution is small to create a good impact. Now, to contribute in any of these, I want you to look at the arrow in between. I want to invite you to, if you really want to create peace and contribute to a more understanding in your society and your communities, start listening. The first one you need to listen is about yourself. Start listening to yourself when you are interacting in your community. Start listening to yourself when you react in front of people that are different than you, when you are exploring other cultures, when you are in a conversation and you hear something that is different to what you think. Start listening to yourself. How do you react? How do you respond? How do you feel about it? Then also listen to the other, because the words that you are listening probably come from something that you do not fully see. And the next thing that you need to do is acknowledge. Ask questions. Be curious. And ask questions about yourself, but also ask questions about the other. Ask questions why this person is wearing in this way or practicing these rituals or habits, or why the others are disagreeing, or why they are not talking to each other, why they cannot find a common ground. Try to acknowledge what is affecting this person, because sometimes what we see from the appearances is not necessarily what is causing the problem. And then we need to acknowledge and ask what's going on to move to the next step. Is if I have more information, then I can respond. I can respond with the help. I can respond with starting to create a solution. I can respond to having an idea of what solution I can bring, or what collaboration do I need, and then collaborate with others to design solution, or to try to mobilize resources, or bring an expert, or bring someone that has better understanding of the situation that will help you also define the thing. I will check also some comments. Other ideas are collecting clothes for winter, promoting gender equality and empowerment. Thank you very much. Make a change, especially for guides who are giving them more opportunities. Participate with your church on aquaphonics center to feed and for insecure and donate processes. Help people who have been victims of sex trafficking. Yes, there's no small action. Food annual event. Excellent. This is so inspiring, all what you are sharing with me. Now, as you mentioned, there are global principles of how we can build peace building. First, you can all be leaders in different aspects. Leading the action that you want to take, taking the initiative is a way of being a leader. Asking the question, looking for help is part of being leader. Be mindful and make it meaningful. If it's not only about going around and say, everything is okay for me. You can take the lead in what can I do tomorrow? That's self-leadership. You can also take the lead in asking for help. You can take the lead into asking the question that can give you more information of what the situation going on. You can also take the leadership of asking another person, how can I help you? You can take the lead on organizing some consultation in your community to better understand the problem. Also, we mentioned diversity and inclusion. This is about making sure that everybody feels comfortable and included in the space that you have. It's about helping people to feel acknowledged in their own identity and in their own unique way of being. That we are okay with them, that we are trying to understand the way they are, the culture they come from, and the needs that they have, even if it's different from us. We can contribute to create safe spaces and supportive spaces. And for that, we need to ask ourselves questions, ask questions to others. Be mindful with yourself as well, because in facing differences, also, we might feel uncomfortable, and you need to acknowledge yourself as well. Team up with people who are of different age of you. Either they are seniors than you, that they might have some ideas or experience, or they have explored other things, or they are younger than you because they have a better approach or a more adventurous approach. And actually, these two things combine very well together. When you don't have experience, you tend to be a bit more bold and adventurous. And that's good to creating new solutions and to innovate. And when we have more experience, and this is not about age, when we have more experience, we tend to be more cautious, but we have the possibility to connect more other aspects and perspectives. So when we team up, then we become more powerful in materializing our plans and our dreams, because we can combine these two ways of thinking. Learning and reflection is something that is a process of ongoing, because we can organize a consultation to understand what is the problem. And then we need to come back with the information that we gathered from the community or that we gathered from the person affected and say, okay, I'm trying to understand this. I'm reflecting what could be different ways to approach this. I have this knowledge or I do not have this knowledge, and I will inform myself and then come back to learn new things. And then you can consult again and you reflect again. And this is an ongoing process. And then trying to be sustainable with your resources, sustainable with the solution that you are creating. Try not to create a solution that is a one-time only, but something that is transformative. Sustainable in terms of environment, sustainable in the way of using resources, sustainable that you are bringing something that will really bring a lasting change, and that it will not be more disturbant, but it's something that will help stay for a long period of time. Now, That's true, Lyle. Nobody is too old to learn new things. And there's no age to have experience or not. We have all different perspective and they are valuable. And one really strong quality of scouting is that we can combine each other and we are collaborating together all the time. Whether if we sometimes we are only among seniors, we are not so adventurous anymore and we are not so crazy thinking. And sometimes when we haven't experienced too much, we don't have too many elements to combine. So it's better and we will collaborate together. So there are many models of innovating and creating new ideas. I will share two with you, and you can find other ways as well. One is shared by the Salam organization in 5 stages of design thinking. Is how can we design solutions? And you will see that this is combined with many other principles that we shared before. First of all, empathize, as in be interested in something personally. Try to understand the other person need. Ask the question, find what exactly is the concern. Even if you think you understand, try to find the concern of the other person because sometimes it's not so obvious or straightforward. Then define and try to figure out what is the problem. You sometimes see the problem in a way, but if you ask the person what is the problem, then you will find that it might be different. Do not ask only one person because it might be a problem that has many angles that many people see in different ways. So try to define what is the problem. Is the problem that we are lacking of water, or is the problem that the water doesn't come to our community? Is the problem that I don't have the resources, or that I don't have the clothes, or is the problem that there is a lot of resources or clothes, but is not on the right size of the people that is need? Sometimes we organize donation drives and we are missing things that are much needed in some communities, like for babies, material for babies, or for women that are pregnant, or those kind of things sometimes we miss. Start having ideas. And this is like having a lot of ideas. You don't need to stick with one and go right into solution. You need to let your brainstorming process go. Find the idea, many ideas. And then consult with the community, consult with the person that you want to help. I have all of these ideas. Which one do you think will help you better? And that's the process of collaborating. Share with your adult leaders, share with your patrol members. I have these ideas. Which one do you think we can connect better to this? And when you have a couple of 2 or 3 ideas that you think they are working, could work better, test them, try them, define the way how you imagine it will work, and then try to go on the ground in a small scale. Try to go on the ground to the place that you want to make the solution. Try to go there and test if what you are trying to do works. And if it works with one person, it works in one of the days that you want to go, you have the reaction of the person that you want to change, test them, and it works. Now you are ready to go back and redesign and make it scale in a bigger scale to try to achieve more impact and more people. Yes, Layal, also, if you try to hear different sides when there's a conflict situation, that you can give more information of that. This works for a community project. This works when you are situated in trying to identify a problem. This stage works when you are trying to ideate a solution. Another model, this one from the Interaction Design Foundation. It's about empathizing first, trying to define the problem. And here I want to ask you, do not define a solution. Focus on defining the problem. Ask yourself, is this real the problem that we are trying to address? Trying to find the root cause. And if you find one answer, then Try to define us again. Is this the problem that you are addressing? So a question to you all again. What is a problem that you see in your communities, in your immediate neighborhood, or in a place where you think you can start helping? What is a problem that you see? What is the problem that you see? Lack of education. And here I will practice this exercise. Is lack of education the problem? Why is there lack of education? Not a lot of communication. Okay, Anna. Why there's not a lot of communication? What is the problem for that? Lack of awareness. Okay. Why people are not aware of the situation that you are addressing? Antisocial behavior. Fine. What is the reason? What is the problem of this person showing antisocial behavior? What is the problem? Let's stay a moment in problem setting, finding the problem. Lots of rubbish in the forest. What is the problem, Milo? Is the problem that the people is not educated? Is the problem that there are not enough bins to sort out the trash? Is it that no one is picking up on it? That's how we ask ourselves, trying to find the problem. No one cares about how we live in the future. Why? What is the problem about? No support from authority. Do they know what is the support you need? Do they understand what is the situation? Lack of communication is the problem. In many ways, yes. And that's where you always need to restore to curiosity. Ask the question. Ask open questions. Whenever you think you have the solution, go and validate. Is this the problem? Is this what is affecting you? Is this what is concerning you? Because in that way, this is like peeling an onion. You can find out what exactly is the situation. Once you think you have defined the problem, start bringing ideas. Move to the phase of, okay, I will brainstorm and create solutions. And then start to collaborate with members of your community or your patrol or your team. What could be ways to address the problem? And once you have a first way, test. Test if it works. And you might find that it doesn't work. Don't be discouraged, because you can go back to the idea and then bring another way and test. Creating an impact doesn't mean that you have the solution at the first time. Creating impact is that sometimes you will need to try more than once, but you stay committed to make that dream an idea of the world reality. You stay committed to your dream or to really help and make a transformation around the world. So we are getting to the end of our session. So I will make a call for action for you to achieve the impact that you told me at the very beginning of this session you want to create. First of all, I want to ask you again, would you like to contribute to a peaceful world, peaceful and inclusive? Would you like to contribute as a youth shaping the world, or would you like to contribute to sustainable world? What would you like to contribute to? What kind of impact would you like to leave in the world? Why not all? You are right, Justine. You can try to work in all, and you can try to invite others to join you and to help you. They are all interconnected. That's very true. Clara is mentioning youth shaping the world, sustainable world, and others. They are all interconnected, and you can work on all if you want, for sure. So things that I would like to ask you that you can do today, tomorrow. Get connected with peace efforts or messengers of peace efforts that are happening in your National Scout organization, or peace efforts that are being organized by community groups, your scout group, other organizations that you are taking part of. Link your next scout activity to one of these 3 impacts or the 3 impacts if you want. Keep asking yourself how this scout activity can help to these 3 impacts that I want to contribute. Are you helping others to be vocal about youth? Are you creating inclusive spaces? Are you helping communities? Are you bringing awareness? Are you supporting communication? Are you helping others to understand cultures, religions, ethnicities, diversity? Share your innovation and your ideas. Never think that your idea is not good. All the ideas are good, and all the ideas, when you start sharing them, they start growing and finding the right fit in the better solution that you can create together. Share your ideas with your local community. Share even if you get an answer of maybe this is not so good. Because the moment you share, you open yourself to other ways of addressing the problem. And also share your stories with us in Scouts for SDG Hub, because if you share also in our platforms, you are also able to get other ideas from others. We can see what's going on. People that want to help Scouts can see what you would like to do, and then maybe we can also help to find the help for all of you. The Scouts for SDG Hub is a platform where you can have activities, ideas, read of activities, and digital badges for collaboration for many of the activities that you do. And I'm sharing the link here if you want to share your ideas, explore the different parts. And this is it. I will give the floor now to our friend John, who has something for you. I really appreciate all the comments and all the exchange that you did in the chat. And I hope this gave you some inspiration to continue or exploring more about how you can make peace building and to start contributing to the impact of scouting starting from today. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Yeah, what to say? I would just to say thank you, a massive thank you to you, Cynthia, for this very inspiring webinar. Something that drives us all to go out and sort of live our promise, to do our best to be inclusive, to go out and bring peaceful changes to our communities. And yeah, very inspiring. It inspires even me. Of course it does. You always do. and so do all the participants with these amazing questions and comments. Thank you, everybody. You've been very patient. So, of course, we do have something for you. This should be it. You need a code, of course, so you can go out and finish your challenge because you deserved it. Definitely.
Thank you all for all the parts of the world. It has been very impressive to have you all. Keep your dreams up. And thank you, John, because John is one active peace builder all around the world and with young people and adults. So thank you all and continue having a nice JOTA-JOTI and see you around in our platform.